very good morning. We're back with Dailies today, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Kofi Bartels. I'm not alone in the studio. I'm joined by.
Oh, my name is Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
I just wanted to surprise them. Good morning to you, sir. And we have carefully curated stories for you this morning. Of course, we'll go through as many stories as time will permit, and these have been handpicked by Jimi Disu himself. Starting, and you can also watch live on YouTube. Head to the website, to the YouTube page rather, of Nigeria Info and search for Nigeria Info 99.3. We're streaming live also on Facebook. So search for Nigeria Info on Facebook, Nigeria Space Info Space 99.3, and you'll see the page. Straight to the first story. On page 10 of today's Vanguard, we have the traditional tussle, Alafin's ultimatum, empty threat from a dead empire on his spokesperson. Seems he's not going away anytime soon.
Right, good morning, everybody. This thing between the Alafin and the should never have gotten to this level. Not only am I just disappointed, also it's a sad reflection of the society that we live in now. These are the examples we want the younger people to follow. The spokesperson of the Oni yesterday replied, the Alafin of Oyo, the Alafin you will remember, had queried the Oni on some title that he had given to some gentleman to say that the Oni has no right and whatever to give a traditional title that indicates of Yoruba land. And he referred to a Supreme Court ruling which some lawyer has abused. But that is not what concerns me. Is the use of language. Is the use of language that is being used, in this particular instance. The Alafi described the action of the Oni as a direct affront to his authority and the traditional institution he represents. The Yoruba monarch emphasized that he has the exclusive right to confer treaty titles that encompass all of Yoruba land. Okay, and they referred, of course, to this Supreme Court ruling. Now, we come to the sad part. Reacting to the threat on his social media page, the only spokesperson described those who issued the threat as jokers. Two wrongs don't make a right. What kind of spokesperson is this who would refer to an Alafin as a joker? And he's supposed to be the spokesperson of the Alafin. He says that of the Oni, he says that the Oni is busy creating jobs for the teaming's use of the Southwest, while some persons were fighting a supremacy battle through an expired empire. He goes on to say, the Oni is busy setting up businesses and creating jobs for use across Yoruba land. They are busy fighting supremacy that does not exist. He repeats again, dead empire. He goes on to say, their 48-hour ultimatum will soon expire. We are waiting, dead empire. Dead empire. Oni plans for the groundbreaking and launching of the Ojaja Smart City in Ibadan, the biggest in Africa. Someone is busy somewhere issuing 4 hours empty threats. Where does this king only have time for supremacy hula balu, issuing 48-hour ultimatum over a team city title that does not exist? I think that again, I keep saying that Yoruba land generally doesn't have elders anymore. And because most of the elders have sold their rights to money and influence. And it's a pity. This should never have happened. Never. Even if the Alafin had any misgivings about this thing, he could have picked up his phone and called the Oni, or picked up his phone and called 1 or 2 elders quietly. But issuing press statements and getting spokesperson to refer to an Alaafin as like some kind of busybody is very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. And we're going to see where this is going to lead us. Over time, and very, very soon, there will be no relevance of either of the two continental rulers or the rest of them in Yoruba land, the rate at which they are going. I read somewhere that some elders have stepped in. I don't know who they are. I don't know their names. But the likes of General Akinri Ade, Chief Afeba Balola, these are top people who are successful and so on and so forth. The likes of them shouldn't be sitting down in their homes as we speak. Because I don't know, most of the elders you find, whatever has been tainted through politics, fighting for influence, fighting for this and fighting for that. And I think you can count on your fingers those who will stand for principle. This is very, very unfortunate. And I hope something is done pretty soon. We'll keep our eyes on it and we'll give you the feedback. In the trust, for example, it's almost a whole page that has been given to this crisis. Once that story that says inside Alaafin on its renewed supremacy battle. There's some information there. Adeyemi versus Chidu Ade, Owode versus Ogunwusi, and it also talks about Chief whatever it is, Dotun Sanusi, the Jagun Olubadan of Ibadan, and it says here that there are indications that in 2027 he might join the gubernatorial race. So that might probably give you the origin of this dispute. Heaven help us all. Oh, sorry. The second.
Yes, there's another one here. Like you said, it's a sensitive matter. Still on the page 10 of today's Vanguard, Senator Daniel asked to present property documents within 2 weeks. So that matter is still there.
Well, you all know that Senator Daniel and the governor, they have the running battle over the fact that I don't know the real facts, but what we hear is that there was given notice for contravention of some building laws and whatever, and he has gone to court and so on and so forth. And again, we need adults in the room for this. This is even a waste of the court process. Let our elite leave our courts for more crucial matters that affect people. Because for me, it's very simple. My house is marked. What do they want? Why is it marked? I will go to the ministry and resolve it. But it turns into a personality conflict. At the end of the day, at the bottom of it all, there is this thinking amongst Nigerians generally that they are too big to be queried. That is the way I look at this issue, irrespective of the parties concerned. It's a very simple issue. If your paper, if you are asked for your papers, produce your papers to the officials of the ministry. But the general thinking sometimes is that why would I've been embarrassed by asking me for that I shouldn't be. That is the way I look at this. And so within his rights, the senator has gone to court, yes, but we take too many issues to court that could be resolved, and therefore we clog the court process for better arbitration that affects the lives of the ordinary people. I don't know why this issue should go to court. Well, it's not for me to say so, but I just wish that we'd have more adults in the room, which means that we'll be talking to ourselves. I know there's no political friendship between the two of them, but it shouldn't extend to such what to me looks like some form of triviality, because it's very clear. It's very clear. I just you know that the things that are happening these days is very, very worrying. and the culture that we used to know, that culture, that culture of let us always try to do right, that culture is being eroded. I'm not referring to this story, and I'm talking in general terms from the two stories. How can a spokesperson be referring to an Alafin as he referred to them as jokers? Come on. And I think those of us who are, unfortunately I'm now 70 plus, so I can't exonerate myself. But I think most of us should think of the legacy we are going to leave behind for our children. It's very sad. But let's move on.
All right, let's go over to the next story. This time is
Go on.
page 13 of today's Vanguard. Drop Shetima, pick Christian, Northern ethnic nationality stealthing. That's in regards to the 2027 presidential election.
Thank you, Kofi. The president has a dilemma in his hands, and I don't know how he intends to resolve it. The truth is, given the dynamics of the politics that we have today, would the president be willing to risk a Muslim ticket this time around? Remember, the stakes are different and they are higher. He needs to sort out within himself whether he can push for a Muslim ticket second time around. If he doesn't do that, what happens to Shetima? At what point would Shetima's case be told? Would Shetima be told what his fate would be? I don't think that President Tinubu would risk. There are too many controversies that surround him for him to add the issue of a Muslim ticket. But then the man has been known to be politically brave, and so he might just jolly well do that. The story here talks about the Northern Ethnic Nationalities Forum, and they have called on the president to discard any plans of presenting a Muslim presidential ticket in the 2027 elections. It's also in the Punch. Northern Forum warns against Muslim ticket in 2027. I wonder, for those listening at home, our listeners and so on and so forth, what do you think of a Muslim ticket in 2027? I think that is the issue we might look at on Thursday, which is tomorrow, actually. To say that. By the way, today is supposed to be a public holiday. Happy Isheshe Day to all the Isheshe people. We greet you like we would greet Christians Merry Christmas, or we greet Muslims Baraka de Salah. So to the Isheshe people, we say Happy Isheshe Day. Isheshe Day also gives you another reason. Luckily, it's the Isheshe people that have, to a large extent, the solution, or might have the solution to this Alafin and Oni crisis. And we hope that this day will also give them an opportunity to see what they can do to stop these two great institutions from falling into complete disgrace. But happy Isheshe Day all the same.
All right, let's look at the news tidbits. We have some of the stories from today's pages.
No, we don't.
This one's you've marked here.
No. This is the story.
Circle this one. Okay.
That's the story. These are just markings for me too.
Okay. Anyway, so if you're following, please go to page 5 of today's Vanguard. U.S. report raises concerns over security justice in Nigeria. And the writers to that identifies lengthy pretrial detention delays as a major challenge, something you just talked about here with the legal system. Notes 70,000 naira minimum wage has lost value to falling naira. U.S. government praised us for arresting and Saro leaders just recently. Presidency says issues with judiciary security naira are being addressed.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kofi. Sorry, I'm not used to my markings of the papers. It's to highlight certain areas. So we have a U.S. report on Nigeria. We don't have a Nigerian report on the U.S., but we have a U.S. report on Nigeria. I'm now a strong advocate for Africans to get themselves out of this mold. honestly. Why should the US be writing a country report? Why can't we write a country report on them? This senior prefect attitude, I don't particularly like. However, it doesn't mean that we won't take note of the things that are being that are being said. They said that they identified lengthy pre-trial detention. A very recent example is the case of the lady famously called Kwam 2, who just because of a scuffle at the airport would have been detained until October. That is you don't need to go far for the kind of example that you need. She would have been there till the 2nd of October. So they talk about that. The report also talks about the new minimum wage. This is just a day after we have the RM whatever say that they're trying to see how they can increase the wages of political office holders, and the US report says that the 70,000 new minimum wage is of no value at all and needs the review. It says the new minimum wage has been eroded. The report said that the new minimum wage has been eroded by the continued devaluation of the naira. It noted that the new wage, pegged at about $47 per month, had lost its value due to the naira trading at over 1,500 to the dollar. So they're telling us the things that we know. The things are the truth, yes, but as we're looking at it, we also now, as we're looking at that issue, we also need to ask ourselves that we, at some point, these Western countries will have to leave us to our fate. We are an independent country. But again, look at the government reaction. The government was quick to react. But the US government praised us for arresting Ansaru leaders just recently. That's from the presidency. As far as I'm concerned, if I'm in the presidency, I could ignore a US report. Yes, some of the things they say are valid, but it's high time we had our own independence. Because again, these things that are being said by some of these countries are for their own benefit, and you don't know what the master plan is. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't know what the master plan is. The same country that would insist on you having democracy would with the same arms welcome countries that have no amount of democracy in their system at all, and will openly welcome them. But what they are doing is valid, it's their own interest. The question is, what is your own interest? But that's the story for another day.
Right. Okay. Let's move over to the Punch. On page 27, they've given some attention to the aviation sector. Airport incident. NCAA summons Ibom air crew passenger. I'm sure they're talking about comfort.
Yes. Why would you be summoning comfort and the air crew and so on and so forth when you have already pardoned her? And I think the issue had closed. It shows that, to be honest with you, are you sure we know what we are doing? In the first instance, if of course we all know that it was because of Kwamon, and I am one of those who advocate that the system should have been you could still have withdrawn, made sure the lady got bail or whatever, but you would let the system conclude, investigations conclude, before you make a decision. You hurriedly did that. Look at this embarrassment now. You're summoning the girl left to me. If I were her, I have an option whether to go or not to attend. But I'm sure as a good citizen she will. And also because, of course, at some point she's going to have to make some claims anyway. If she's not been thinking that way, the interview she had with her dad shows that her dad could jolly well prod her to do just that. But the report here says that the NCAA has invited her and a member of the Ibom air cabin crew, Juliana Edward, for further investigation into the reported incident, not a reported incident. It's well known what took place there, so it's well known to the public.
Okay, back to Daily Trust on page 5. EFCC places Mele Kyari on watch list as court freezes accounts. EFCC places Mele Kyari, that's the former NNPCL Group CEO, on watch list as court freezes bank accounts.
Almost for every public office holder, this is the narrative. As soon as they leave office, you begin to look for money. You find some money, you place a lien on it, and after a while, it just fizzles out. We're going through the same process now. It says that the EFCC has placed Mele Kyari, that's the former MD, on his watch list over the ongoing probe into the $7.2 billion refineries turnaround maintenance. $7.2 billion refineries turnaround maintenance. This is just as the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja yesterday ordered the temporary freezing of 4 bank accounts linked to him over the allegations of fraud. $7.2 billion is what, and this is just for maintenance of the refineries. We don't know whether there are other monies or whatever. This must be the Nigerian accounts. I wonder if anybody knows if the gentleman had some foreign accounts. And it says that Kyari's associates have been interrogated on how some funds earmarked for the maintenance of the country's refineries were managed. It was gathered that documents and other necessary information had since been obtained by the crack detectives investigating how the funds for the refineries turnaround maintenance was used. We have spent $7.2 billion and refinery is still not working. That is the story of Nigeria. And so the EFCC source says we are investigating him, that is Kyari, and our investigation has reached an advanced stage. How is it possible that we will not investigate him when those around him are already being investigated? The source continues. The fact that the commission is not talking about him is for us to be able to get some critical information. We are discreet about it because there are so many officials that are involved. It is deliberate we are not talking about him. It is to assist us in our investigation and to ensure that we get the right report that we need. $7.2 billion.
Oh, someone has to answer. Sorry. Someone has to answer for that money.
No,
Can it go like that?
no. Apart from that, some of these amounts that questions are being raised about are mind-boggling. And with I remember the first time I heard that Alamisia, God forgive him wherever he is, was involved in the 1 billion naira. I thought it was. These guys must be joking. Where is he going to get $1 billion naira from? Way back then. Look at where we are today.
Now we don't talk about 1 billion naira. We talk about billions of dollars.
They talk about billions of dollars.
Okay. We don't have too much time. I don't know if you want to go through the tidbits.
Just one or two tidbits here in the news. This is taken from Abuja Metro.
7 p.m. Don't knack, na yellow clock be that.
Yes, so better don't come as the MTN Mega Billion promo don't land and your number fit win up to 5 million naira jackpot every Monday to Friday and up to 10 million naira jackpot every Saturday.
Just that.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens.